Picture this. It's April 22nd, 2026. A satellite is silently passing 400 miles above the Persian Gulf, and what it sees should make every IRGC admiral go pale. 33 Iranian fast attack boats, their wakes carving identical white lines into the blue water, are streaming back to shore in formation after seizing two commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. Bold, coordinated, unmistakably deliberate. And here's the best part. Every single one of those boats was being watched the entire time, not just by a satellite, by the most technologically lethal naval force ever assembled in human history. So today we're going to talk about what Iran thinks it's doing, what the US Navy actually sees, and why sending a Mosquito fleet into waters patrolled by America is a lot like showing up to a knife fight and thinking nobody noticed you brought a plastic spoon. Here is what Tehran is telling itself right now. President Trump went on record claiming that the United States destroyed 158 Iranian naval vessels. He called the remaining fast attack boats not much of a threat. He basically told the world to stop worrying about Iran's little speedboats. And to IRGC commanders huddled in their coastal bases along the Iranian shoreline, that sounded like an invitation. Because in the asymmetric warfare playbook, dismissal is the best weapon you can give your enemy. The moment your adversary stops taking you seriously, you own the next move. So on April 22nd, 2026, Iran made their move. 33 fast attack craft pushed out into the Strait of Hormuz in coordinated formation, not one by one, not haphazardly, but in a deliberate swarm. Two commercial vessels were seized by IRGC naval forces. The message from Tehran was loud and clear. The strait is ours. Trump's claims are theater, and we are still here. Iranian parliamentary speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf said it himself on state television. It is impossible for others to pass through the Strait of Hormuz while we cannot. That is the arrogance talking. That is a man who believes his Mosquito fleet just drew blood on the most powerful navy on Earth. And that confidence, that specific, fragile, completely misplaced confidence, is exactly the kind that gets boats sunk. Let's talk about what Iran actually brought to this fight, because it matters. The IRGC's fast attack craft, their so-called Mosquito fleet, are small fiberglass-hulled speedboats, some claiming speeds of over 100 knots. They carry 12.7mm heavy machine guns, sometimes unguided rockets, occasionally short-range missiles. Their fiberglass construction gives them a radar cross-section, roughly comparable to wave clutter, meaning on a radar screen they look less like a warship and more like the ocean being slightly annoyed at itself. That's their whole strategy. Be invisible, be fast, be everywhere at once. It's maritime guerrilla warfare, and it's been Iran's doctrine since the Iran-Iraq tanker war in the 1980s. Genuinely nothing about it has changed. Now let's talk about what the United States has floating in those same waters. The US Navy's 5th Fleet, headquartered in Bahrain, operates Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyers, each one displacing nearly 10,000 tons and carrying the Ayan Alash SPY-1 radar system, part of the Aegis combat system. This radar can simultaneously track over 100 airborne, surface, and subsurface targets at ranges exceeding 200 nautical miles. 200 nautical miles. The entire Strait of Hormuz is only 21 miles wide at its narrowest point. That means a single US destroyer parked at the entrance of the strait already has a radar picture that covers the whole strait, both Iranian coastlines and most of your morning commute. But radar is just the beginning. Flying above the fleet are P-8 Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft, a military version of the Boeing 737, packed with sonar buoys, high-resolutions, synthetic aperture, radar, and signals intelligence equipment capable of identifying individual vessels by their electronic signatures. And then there's the overhead layer. American surveillance satellites that tracked 33 Iranian fast attack boats in formation and caught every single wake on camera. A Mosquito doesn't move in the Strait of Hormuz without the United States knowing about it before it clears the harbor. Iran calls their boats a swarm. The US Navy calls them targets. Here is what the IRGC commanders fundamentally don't understand about their current situation. When Trump said those small boats were not much of a threat, he wasn't ignorant. He was revealing a doctrine. Because the United States has been quietly preparing for exactly this swarm scenario for years. The US Navy has installed high-caliber automated naval cannons specifically designed for swarm suppression on vessels operating in the Gulf. The Mark 38 chain gun. The Close-In Weapon System, or CWS, a radar-guided Gatling cannon that can fire 4,500 rounds per minute and has a correction cycle faster than the human blink reflex. You don't aim CW at a fast attack boat. You just turn it on and watch mathematics handle the situation. And while 33 IRGC boats were playing formation drills in the strait, here's what was happening simultaneously. P-8 Poseidons were overhead logging every hull, every radio frequency, every engine signature. Aegis destroyers had every single one of those 33 vessels in a full fire control solution, meaning at any point, the tactical action officer could have turned to the weapons console and had a very short conversation with every boat in that formations. Simultaneously. The US didn't do that. And that restraint? That is the most terrifying thing about American military power. The fact that they were watching, fully capable, fully locked in, and chose to let the cameras roll. Because sometimes the most devastating thing you can do to an enemy is show them the footage later and say, "We had you the entire time." Now here's where it gets interesting, and where Iran's victory lap starts looking a lot more like a very expensive mistake made in slow motion. Because while Tehran was celebrating the seizure of those two commercial vessels and publishing satellite images to prove their swarm tactics were operational, Kinsignal's intelligence was building a complete picture. Every fast attack boat logged, every base they returned to catalogued, every patrol route mapped, every radio frequency recorded. The IRGC Mosquito fleet thinks it's been stinging the giant. What it's actually been doing is handing the US military an updated target list, delivered fresh, from 400 miles above the Earth's surface, confirmed by the boat's own wakes. This is the signature American military flex that never makes the headlines but is felt for decades. Not the strike, but the patience before the strike. When the USS Winston Churchill and USS Jason Dunham were operating in the Gulf in early 2026, the Aegis systems weren't just defending, they were cataloging. When the P-8s were flying grid patterns at 25,000 feet, they weren't just watching, they were building a database. And when that satellite captured 33 boats in formation with their wakes still hot, the Pentagon wasn't panicking. It was updating targeting coordinates. Seizing two commercial ships in a strait with that level of surveillance coverage isn't asymmetric warfare. It's handing your home address to the most precise strike force in human history, then going back inside and making tea. And now we get to the part that Tehran really doesn't want to talk about. Because here's the contradiction at the heart of Iran's current strategy, and it is a brutal one. The IRGC released satellite imagery showing 33 boats. They seized commercial vessels. They closed the strait again, after reopening it, after closing it again. They are running a playbook built on the assumption that the Mosquito fleet is uncountable, undetectable, and unstoppable. But the satellite image they're so proud of, it confirmed the opposite. It confirmed that their formation movements are visible from space. It confirmed that 33 boats returning to shore in neat little wakes is not a show of force. It's a roll call. It's Iran accidentally handing the world a photograph of exactly how many boats they have, where they're going, and what direction they came from. The IRGC Navy commander, who thought that imagery was a power move, just taught a Pentagon targeting cell everything they needed to know about patrol routes. And then there's the uncomfortable math. Trump claimed 158 Iranian vessels destroyed. U.S. sources acknowledge roughly half the fast attack fleet has been sunk. But here's the number nobody is celebrating in Tehran. More than 60% of IRGC fast attack boats remain operational. Sounds like a win. Until you realize that the boats that are left are being tracked in real time by satellites, logged by Poseidons, and already sitting inside fire control solutions on 3 different Arleigh Burke destroyers. Having boats left only matters if your enemy doesn't know where they are. Iran's Mosquito fleet has Mosquito levels concealment and a United States military watching it with technology that can count fish in a river from orbit. The IRGC admirals who ordered those 33 boats out this morning may have felt bold, but somewhere in Bahrain, inside the 5th Fleet's Joint Operations Center, an officer with a very calm voice just updated a spreadsheet. And that spreadsheet has latitude, longitude, hull signatures, and radio frequencies for every single one of them. Iran believes its Mosquito fleet is the great equalizer, the asymmetric answer to American naval supremacy. And look, credit where it's due. The strategy has teeth. It's disrupting global shipping. It's spiking insurance premiums. It's rattling markets. Tactically, the IRGC isn't stupid. But here is the difference between being tactically clever and strategically alive. The United States doesn't just fight the battle in front of it. It fights the 6 battles after that one, simultaneously, before you even know the first one started. Every formation those 33 boats fly, every vessel they seize, every wake they leave in satellite imagery is data. And the American military runs on data the way Tehran's fast attack boats run on stolen confidence. The Strait of Hormuz is 21 miles wide. Iranian Mosquito boats can run at 100 knots, and not a single one of them, not one, moves through that water without the United States Navy knowing exactly where it is, exactly where it came from, and exactly what it would take to make sure it doesn't go back. This is why you don't poke the 5th Fleet with a speedboat. If you were the 5th Fleet commander watching those 33 wakes on satellite imagery, what's your next move? Drop it in the comments below. And if you want more breakdowns of the real story behind what's happening in the Strait of Hormuz, hit subscribe, because this situation is far from over. Subscribe, because the Strait of Hormuz isn't done making news.